This is the second video in my Journey to Freedom series where we'll be taking a look at some ideas to name your business and to verify its availability. If you haven't seen my video on finding your niche yet for your business, then go ahead and check that out as well. Now, I don't want to make this video too long, so we'll go right into it, but if you want more details, then go head on over to my website where we'll go into a deep dive into all the nuances, and all the links that you'll need will be in the description below. But without further ado, let's start off by talking about different ways you can create a business name for yourself. So the first way you can name your business is by using your own name. And this method has become more and more popular these days. It's a trend where you brand yourself to make your business seem more personable to the general audience. And I don't recommend using this if you are planning to be a corporation, but for the likes of YouTube and everything like that, it's a very viable option. The second way you can name your business is by using words that is descriptive to your content. And you'll see this used more commonly with brick and mortar businesses, but it can still be used for online presences as well. Companies like PC Magazine or the Weather Channel, it's hard to misinterpret what these businesses do based on their name. A third method you can use to name your business is by using acronyms, and you can combine or abbreviate words to create a name. Some popular companies also like to do this, namely KFC, CVS, and AT&T. And this can sometimes be used for a few different things. It keeps your name short and easy to remember, and sometimes it can be used if your name is already taken. You can also try to use an acronym of the word that you want to use and see if that works for you. Our fourth way you can use to name your business is to create a new word or combine words. Sometimes getting a name that you want may prove to be difficult, and another good way to create a name is to combine words that don't normally go together. An example would be Facebook. The fifth way you can name your business is by using common words in a different language. Using popular words in a different language as a business name has become more popular lately. Something on the lines of the words like viva. Like in Spanish, it means expression of approval or excitement. The sixth method you can use is to mix and match some of these methods above to create a new name for yourself. For instance, I'll combine methods 2 and 3 to create my name. I use the abbreviation from my name, which is HVX, and I use focus as the descriptive word for my business. So how I translate this, since HVX is my name, it's my focus. Could I have made it more intuitive? Sure, of course I could. But I find this way to work best for me and my audience. So you should also consider doing that as well. If you want to get technical, and there are a few other ways that you can create a business for yourself, but I think with these ideas, you should be able to come up with a good name for your business. But if you need more help coming up with some ideas, then you could use some free business name generators to help you decide. I'll give you 3 that you could use. The first one is businessnamegenerator.com. And then there's Shopify. They also have a business name generator, and Oberlo also has a business name generator. And these generators basically work in the same way. You put in a key term, and it will give you a bunch of suggestions based on your term. And business generators are really helpful if you want to come up with a unique name. And what good is a business name if it's already been taken? So let's go and verify if your name that you chose is being used anywhere else. If you plan on creating merchandise with your brand on it, then you really should make sure that's not being trademarked anywhere. And this is going to save you a lot of issues in the long run, but even if you don't plan on using merchandise, it's probably still good to verify, especially if your name is a common name. It's better to be safe than sorry. In the United States, you can check the United States Patent and Trademark Office and search through their database through TESS, which is their trademark electronic search system. Just bear in mind that just because you don't see your name being trademarked doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It just means that they may have not registered with the USPTO. So you may want to consider paying a company like LegalZoom to verify everything for you, but that's up to you to decide. And I'll leave links to both options in the description below. But let's go through an example. So we're here at the USPTO site, and the procedure is relatively simple, but I want to walk you guys through it so there's just no confusion. And we're going to want to click on the trademarks here. And here you'll find a lot of useful information if you run and operate your business in the United States, which I do recommend you look through if you want more details. But for our purposes, we're just going to go ahead and select the search trademarks here. And here you'll find the application process to register your trademark if you chose to do so. But the first step in the application process is to search their database. So we'll go and do that. We'll click on the search our trademarks database here. now we're here at the test database system, and you can see that there's a few different search options below. And there's a lot to cover here, but I'm not going to go into all the nuances, but I'll get you through enough to verify your name. And if there's enough interest in it, maybe I'll create a series for the whole process since there is a lot to cover. And I do highly recommend that you read the help section up here if you want to get more granular with your searches. And for our purposes, we'll use either the basic word mark search or the structured search. So let's go ahead and click on the basic word search for new user. And on this page, you can see a drop down for your search history if you want to see what you've been searching for during your sessions. You also see some options to refine your search options, like the plural and singular circle that will also include plural versions of your search term, or you can just select a singular form of your word or term. Then there's live and dead. When a trademark is dead, it means that it's either been abandoned, canceled, or expired, and live just means active or in the process of being registered. So you can choose either or both. In the field dropdown, you can filter your search field codes, serial numbers, and owner's name and address. You can also put all. For our purposes, I'm just going to use all since my name is not common, and so I don't expect to see many results. But if you have a common word in your name, then it might be best to filter it a bit. In the results dropdown, you can specify all, any, or exact term phrases to help you narrow down your search results even further. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in my name and hit the submit button. And here you'll see the results. You see the serial number of the products that have been registered and the register number along with the word mark, which is the term used for the registration. And also you'll see the status of the registration that you can click on, and it pulls some more information on the registration and whether or not the trademark is still active. Just keep in mind that just because the registration is dead doesn't mean that it still isn't being used. They just may have forgotten to renew it. If you do see a lot of results, then I recommend you go back and filter your results a bit, or you can go over to the structure search by pressing the structure button over here. And with the structure search, it has more options. Let's say, for instance, your name has two terms that you can actually search for them both separately, or combine the search term to see only the terms you want. So I'm going to use my name for an example here, because my name does contain two different separate words. So also you have the ability to choose the field type, category, or details for each term you want to use. So I'm just going to use individual terms and then submit. And I'll choose all for these. And I see that there are 13,000 records, and that's just way too many. And I'm going to go back and use the AND operator to make sure that it only search for both terms. And then once I hit the submit, it says there's no records, which for the most part, legally, I can use a name for my business or logo. But remember earlier that I only used the HVX term by itself, and we did see some records, one of which was an active record. So if I did decide to use that combination for my logo, I could run into some kind of legal issues. But like I said, I'm not a trademark accountant, so if it's something that you want to pursue for your business, then I would advise you to speak to a professional. This is just info that you can use for your reference. And I don't plan on making any merchandises, but in some instances, I still could use this combination as a logo. Anyway, that's just a small fraction of what the trademark is all about, and it gets even more complicated when one or more businesses use the same trademark, and online businesses even have different set of rules, and of course the legality of all of it, right? If this is something that you do determine that you need to do, then do please consult a specialist to get the information that you need. This is just a way to check your name. Alright, now that we've verified our trademark and everything is all good, let's go ahead and verify our domain for our website or blog. And if you don't plan on making a website or blog, then you can go ahead and skip this step. But I'll go ahead and verify it anyway, just because that's what we're building in this series. But unfortunately, I did lose my footage on creating my business, so I'll demonstrate with a similar name. And it's really simple. You can use any domain register you want, but the concept is going to be the same. And we are going to use domain.com for our demonstration, so let me walk you through that. And I'm going to type in the name that I want to use. HVX Logic. I'm going to do a search. Loading search. Great. So it looks like my domain is available, so that's a good sign. So that means nobody else is using that domain anywhere. So that's great. And looks, just to take a look here, the 1 year is $9.99 for .com. And obviously you can use any other, .net, .org, whatever. I just use .com because it's more widely known. All right, so that's great there. All right, so let's go back to google.com now that we've verified that our domain is available. So the next step here is, now that we have our trademark checked and our domains verified and available, and now we're just going to go through our social media. So I'm going to do Facebook first. Facebook, and I'm going to type in my name that I want to use for my business here and just do a search on that. So that's a good sign. So when I'm doing my search and I see something like this, it says that it looks like there aren't any great matches for your search. That means there's a good chance that nobody else is using your name. And as you can see right here, there's only one other link that comes up. And it's actually not a business. It's just some kind of, looks like some kind of Hoover engine or something. So this looks like it's just a product, not the name. So that's good. And then I want to expand it even further. I can just go and put a space here just to broaden my search. And it does come up with, 1 or 2 words. Mostly logic is the thing that Google is picking up. So I'm going to type in, I'm going to click here. It says must include HVX. And that's going to put every link that I see here, or every search that has HVX and, just HVX in it. And let's just take a look, see. And this looks like HVX is a thing, but it doesn't look like it's a company. So that's good. And I'm going to do this to all my social media, right? So all the platforms that I want to use. So let's say I want to use YouTube, because that's a big platform as well. And I can see that it does come up with a camcorder. So a Panasonic camcorder has a model number that's HVX. So I might be confused with that as a company name, but I think I'm okay with that, as long as it doesn't represent a company itself. Okay, so I'm good with that. So let's check one more. Let's see, I want to do Pinterest here. And same thing, comes up with this, and that's a good sign. And once again, you can definitely go down and take a search and go down next pages and stuff to see how deep you want to go. But you can always take just a step further, which I do recommend, is that you log into each platform that you want to use individually, and then use these same steps to verify your name of the business that you want. If you want to be sure about the legality of the processes, or just want some information on how to protect your assets, then you can always use a service like LegalZoom that will help you with all the details that you need for your business. And I'll leave my affiliate link in the description below. The next video in the series should be creating a business brand logo, where I'll give you some ideas to create a logo for your business. I also have a few other videos that are up and coming that discusses whether or not you should brand yourself as your business, and probably another one on business structure and registration. So don't forget to like and follow me to know when that content gets released. As always, I hope you found this helpful, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.